Welcome to Vasvi's virtual program. Today we are going to discuss Unit 1 Personality Development. There are three readings. In that first reading is reading A, Attitude is Altitude. So in this lesson we are going to learn about a person named Nick Vujicic who, despite having no limbs, was able to manage his life and come up successfully. In the beginning, he was a bit alarmed, but later stages we could see that he managed to pull through to become an international triumph over adversity. Let's see the textual content. Imagine having no arms to stretch in the morning to help you scratch that itch, to allow you to wrap your arms around your loved ones. Imagine having no legs to kick pebbles down the street, to walk or run, to bicycle or skateboard, or get you from point A to point B. Then imagine both at once, which is what Nick Vujicic has faced his whole life. Have you heard something like this before? So if you look at the people around, majority of them we will see that they are able persons. Physically, if you observe, they are okay. But in fact, we need to consider the 10 percentage. They may be without legs or arms, or there may be some of the other issues with them. And in that maybe 1 or 2 percentage only we see that they work in order to earn their living. Rest of them we see that they beg for food, money and so on. So here the writer, author is asking us to just imagine. See, we have both arms and legs, but suppose we don't have that. With our arms, we wrap your arms around our loved ones, we kick pebbles, we move from point A to point B. But how if we don't have these limbs? What will be our condition? How will we manage what we are doing at present? Will we be able to really manage what we are really doing? Now, if we observe the life of Nick, we will get a clarity over what we are discussing. Is it possible for a person without limbs to live in this world happily? That happiness, that is what important is. People live without limbs. With limbs, people live, but not necessarily that they need to be happy. But without limbs, people live happily too, provided it all comes with the mindset, the attitude that we have. So that's what the lesson's title is. Attitude is altitude. The way we think, and that's how we are. So we need to consider it in that way. So in order to do something as per our understanding, we need our arms, we need our legs, we need the whole body. But Nick proves that without these also he managed. It is possible for people to manage, provided we need to have a good mindset, good attitude. We need to love ourselves. We need to concentrate on what we have. And that's what Nick teaches us through this lesson. Now, the meanings of some of the words are given there. So you can just make a note of that so that you don't get any kind of confusion or anything of that sort with these words. Okay, fine. So to stretch arms to scratch that itch. So both you see you need arms. Without arms, will it be possible for us to scratch our itch, the itch that is in? Of course, it's possible. As we have arms, we do it with that. If we don't have, then the way it is possible. That's what. If you see the next one, to wrap your arms around your loved ones, to kick pebbles. So is it possible for us? Without arms, how is it possible? To walk or to run, you need legs. Is it possible to move without legs? Is it possible? To bicycle or to skateboard, you need legs, you need arms. Even skateboarding, without arms, it is difficult. You need to balance yourself, not only just legs. Even arms are also needed. Without that, it's difficult. So, let's see the life of Nick. Nick Vujicic was born with no arms and legs, but he doesn't let the details stop him. So, he was born limbless, without arms and legs, but that did not stop him from living his life happily. The brave 26-year-old who is mainly a torso. Why is he called a torso? Because he has only the main part of the body. So excluding head, arms and legs, the rest of the body, the main part of the body is known as torso. He plays football. Without legs, he plays football. And golf. So without arms, how is he able to catch the club? Swims and surfs despite having no limbs. So without arms and legs, how is it possible for a person to swim, to do surfing? So Nick, he proved that it is possible. Nick has a small foot on his left hip which helps him balance and enables him to kick. So which he considers as something great, just a small foot, like a piece of flesh hanging there. And he does all the activities with the help of that. He uses his one foot, only a single foot he has, and with that he types, write with a pen, and pick things up between his toes. So you see how he manages his life. It is not possible for us to do all these activities even though we have both arms and legs, because our worry is entirely different. But Nick, his intention, his lifestyle is entirely different. He wanted to prove to the world that he is just a normal person who lives his life happily. He wanted to show that he is a differently abled person, not the so-called handicapped person, not the person who is affected, by phocomelia or anything, any of those sickness and all. He wanted to prove that he was a normal person, and so he was doing the activities whichever a normal person could do. I call it my chicken drumstick, joked Nick, who was born in Melbourne, Australia, but now lives in Los Angeles. I would be lost without it. How he considers him small food. He says it as his chicken drumstick. You know what is meant by chicken drumstick? It's already there in the picture. You can see that the just with the toes under or toes of a chicken. And for him, on his left hip, it is hanging there his small foot. And he was born in Melbourne, Australia, but he has shifted to Los Angeles. And he says, I would be lost without it. Just a small piece of flesh, the small foot that he has. And he says that is the best thing God has given him. Because without that, his life would have been entirely different. It's not that he is complaining, oh, I did not get a normal legs. No, he says I am happy that I got a small food. Due to his faith as an evangelical Christian, he has chosen to remain a virgin until marriage. So he was not getting involved with any kind of what's called a negative activities or anything, premarital sex or anything of that sort. He wanted to lead a life, chaste life, okay, following chastity. For him, though he was getting number of chances or to meet girls and all, he never got involved with that. He knew that would be a sin, and so he wanted to remain as a pure chaste person until his marriage. He is very modest, but he gets marriage proposals from women all the time, said Nick's friend and publicist Steve Appel from Los Angeles. So it is mentioned that though he is a modest person, he was going on getting marriage proposals from many women. So there may be two reasons. One, it would be a positive thinking of those women to give life to a person who is, who is not having his limbs. Or else it could be also another reason. Yeah, he is a famous person, an international figure. So the one who marries him will be also famous. That also could be a reason. So we can see that he would love to get married and start a family, but he is waiting for the right girl to come along. So he did not want to get married forthwith. As soon as he got the marriage proposals, immediately he did not want to get married. He was waiting for the right girl to come along. So he might have understood most of the marriage proposals might have been with that intention of becoming famous. So that could be the reason he was waiting for the right girl to come along. So that's the end of part 1. Rest of the lesson we will see in part 2 and 3.